But now let's go into shading. I'll click on alpha to selection for the eye base and go into eye shading. Click on my brush, make this color black. Once I've done all of that stuff, I'm going to change this to the circle brush. And if you go into opacity here for your brush, opacity for your brush is going to make it more or less transparent. So I'm just going to turn this way down, and now you'll see that it's quite transparent. But I'm going to turn even more down. You can just click and drag. So now you'll see I have a very transparent thing, and this is good for very simple shading. So yeah, I'm just going to click and drag like that. Now you do want to be kind of careful when you have something transparent, because as you can see, if I click and drag over it, it will actually make it darker. So you know that can be good, but you don't want to say look, if I did this, for example, you can see all those dark splotches now on the line of shading I have. So make sure that if you're doing shading through this method, you do have a continuous stroke, and that can make it frustrating, because if you have a continuous stroke and undo, as you know, it deletes everything. So just bear that in mind. One of the ways to make this a little bit easier on yourself is to use a tablet, because drawing tablets, or at least make sure you have one that does have this, but they should have pressure sensitivity, where the harder you press in your drawing tablet, the darker a line will be in your photo editor. So that's just a very handy thing to have. But yeah, for now you can make your shading through opacity and brushes and make something fairly nice. You know, I literally just clicked and dragged my brush across the eye to make this. So that's really, you know, it's not difficult. Okay, now we're going to make the highlights, and that's exactly what it sounds like. It's the light portion. So I'm going to zoom into the eye, click on the brush, and I can switch the foreground and background by clicking on these two little arrows. So I will do so to make the foreground white now. And I will just simply, so now that it's white, I'll click on the corner. Oh, the opacity is still down. So I'm going to turn the opacity back up to 100 for the highlights. I will select the highlights layer. Make sure that you are on the right layer when you're editing. It's very easy to be editing on the wrong layer, but make sure you're on eye highlights or making highlights. Click. Bam. There we go. So I've changed my opacity to 100, clicked on the eye, and now I've made a nice little highlight to kind of add some liveliness to our little creature. Alright, so now file, export to cubetexture.png. Bam. Image reload, you'll see is now right side up, and you will also notice that I forgot to take out the UV map. Again, bam, there we go. Click on the little eyeball next to the UV map. Let's reload it, and there we have it. You can see we have a little eye guy over here giving us his little smile. There's our eye guy. Okay, so that's how to make it. I'll show you. Well, I'll make the little swirly thing of hair on top. I'm not even gonna make a component for it. It's just gonna be hair. So it looks like this layer right here above the base layer. I'll make that hair. Turn on my reference, and now of course I'm gonna go into my model in edit mode, select the top face, so I make sure I know which face I'm painting the hair onto, and that will be this one right here in the UV map. So go into GIMP, find the one where it is. It's this one, and I will make this dark brown, I guess. I'll have dark brown hair. Okay, so change the brush size. And for his hair, I'm just going to make a spot. Oh, okay, this is actually a good time to point something out. You'll notice that now when I'm clicking on anything, nothing is happening, even though I have a brush selected. The reason for that is because the only area that's going to be affected is the area within my selection here. So you'll see now if I start to draw on top of this, it should actually do something. I'm not sure why it's not, hang on a second. Not sure why it's not doing anything. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Well, let me try something quickly. Okay, that select all. That's weird. Oh, I see. It's because the layer hierarchy. This is another important thing to note, is that whatever is highest on this list of folders is what's going to show up on top. So think of it as stacking. If you're stacking papers, say, when you're stacking papers, the paper on the top is going to be the one that shows up first, and it's the same way for layers. So I was actually drawing underneath of the eye layers here, and that's why I couldn't see anything. And you know, initially when I did the previous recordings, I had it up here, so that's why I was confused. Okay, but yeah, if I had it up here, then I would only have been able to draw inside of a portion that was selected. So go into select all, so you can draw in any portion. Go into your hair layer. Again, I'm not even going to make this a component. I'm just going to click on it and make a spiral. Just very simple little spiral. Well, maybe not like that. Yes. Export to Q. Oh, I forgot to turn off the UV again. But we'll see how that looks. Too far off to the side. Okay, center it, center it. Whoa, swirly. Okay, I can probably move this too. I'll just click on this box here to do a box select. Click on these 4 facing arrows. So you got north, south, east, and west arrows. This is the move tool. I'll click on my selection and use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move this. If you click on shift plus an arrow key, it'll move it in larger steps. As you can see, I'm moving it left to right and up and down. But yeah, this is, I'll do that. Make it, put it where I want it to. Hide the cube UV. Bam. Image reload. Okay, let's go into object mode, and there you have it. Oh, you can still see a little portion underneath the eye. Oh, you can make eyelashes. There you go. Yeah, so you can make a little eyelash, some eyelashes for your cube. You can give it ears. You can give it nicer hair. Change its eye color. Mess around with this. Get familiar with the basics of UV unwrapping. Another really great way to learn the basics of UV unwrapping is by making Minecraft models. Minecraft models are just made up of squares, so it'd be really simple to make, say, a creeper inside of Blender using the knowledge that you've learned now. Once you're able to comfortably make 3D cubes with textures, or 3D Minecraft models with textures in Blender, then you'll be ready for the next lesson, where we'll be taking a more complex object like the dolphin and making a UV map for that for texturing purposes. So this is Freeman of Freedan Studios signing out. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll be back with a new one on Wednesday. Bye.